Hi, we're here today with Coach Baxley and Miss Stafford from Eagles Landing Middle School in Henry County, and they'd like to share with us some of the ways they've been using the American Book Company's 8th grade CRCT workbook in mathematics. Coach Baxley?
Okay. The biggest way the book works for us, or the way I find that it works best for me, is especially when a student's out for a prolonged period of time, say 3 or 4 days, if the child's sick, and they always want to get, work while they're gone, or if they're going on a trip or whatever. With this book, you can just give it and say, hey, we're doing chapter 1. If you can get, the first couple of sections of chapter 1 done, then it's just great. The child can read the material, all the directions and everything are there. They have exercises that they can do, problems they can work, and then when they come back, they can ask you specific questions. I had a problem with this, rather than them coming back and you having to reteach, a whole week's worth of lessons or whatever. And it's so user-friendly that the child usually can go through the material. If they've got a problem when they're doing the exercises, they go back and reread, and they can usually jump back into it with very minimal problems. Another great way that I like to use this is when a child is unfortunately sent to in-school suspension. And instead of having to send the worksheet that I'm going over or the actual text that we're using in the classroom with the kids in ISS. So rather than me having to go and spend extra time with that child in ISS to reteach everything, I can use the book, say this is where we're at. Say we're doing exponents today. Chapter 1, I need you to do the first 3 sections in chapter 1, and then that child is totally caught up with the student, with the rest of the students in the class, and when they come back, they can go, oh yeah, I saw that in the book, and they usually catch on pretty quick as far as what we're doing in class. So it's just been totally instrumental as far as that goes. We also use it in the collab setting. Ms. Stafford is a collab teacher in our 1st and 4th period, and it helps so much when, say we have some students that are struggling, Ms. Stafford can take the book and then do a pull-out session with it. And we've had great success with that. If you wanted to.
I like the book for remediation purposes, like Mr. Baxley was saying. I like the examples too. They're step by step. So I can be there as a facilitator and a guide for the students, but at the same time, they can pretty much own their learning. So I love it for remediation.
Yeah. And it's great when you go to remediate for, of course, everything's driven by our CRCT. It's great to go back and use this for remediation for the CRCT, because instead of having to pull out the same resources that you've used to teach the actual lesson, you can go back and pull information from this book and go, this is what we're doing. And you don't hear from the kids, oh, do we have to do that again? Because they see this in a newer, fresher type layout, and it's something a little different than what they may have seen during the actual lesson. So it's an awesome resource to have that we can always go to when we need it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.